What is up, gangstas? Right now we are in the full moon in Capricorn. Happy solstice to everyone. I hope that you have all had a good transition into this, right? This intro into Cancer season. So let's see who you are, what you can expect moving forward. You know, with the moon being in Capricorn, very earth energy, the sun being in Cancer, very watery energy. I feel this need to like release karma, right? I feel this need to connect with our feelings and maybe break old cycles, right? Do things differently, change the way we respond to things, change the way that we react to things. You know, because when we do that, then we can finally stop repeating history, you know, and this is a life lesson that I've had too many times. Too many times. You know, we will always be presented with an opportunity to do things differently than we have before. And so take advantage of this opportunity should it arise, right? All right. Who are you? Okay, that was a lot. I'm gonna do this again. Sorry, I don't like to start out with half the deck. Let's see. All right, baby steps. This is all about taking action and following your intuition before it makes sense. Right? Before you have time to logic it to death, right? And what I mean by that is like your higher intuition will speak before your ego does, right? And then we let the ego talk us into and out of a lot of things. So if you're feeling guided to do something, you know, don't sit there and pressure yourself with the, well, this could happen and that could happen and what about this obstacle and what about that obstacle. Sometimes you just need to push forward and not think about all the other external circumstances, right? Sometimes the best thing you can do is just start taking action, and letting things fall into place, right? Allowing circumstances to unfold, right? When we're too busy overthinking the outcome or overthinking the problems and the what ifs, and you know, then we have a tendency to stop or create resistance in our own progress, right? To create resistance in our own manifestations. So you're being called to not do that. Don't create resistance in your own manifestations. You need to let go. That's what really needs to happen. Let go of the overthinking and simply take actions. For example, you want to be a fashion designer, don't think about, well, I need to contact this person, I need to do that, and da-da-da. No, just start sewing. It's literally that simple. You want to be an artist, don't think about, well, I need to get this kind of marketing and that, da-da-da. No, just start doing the art. Okay? You do the work and then the outcomes follow. It's not rocket science, right? It's actually so simple that it's painful, right? And the more intelligent you are, the more likely you are to create resistance in your own path because you're thinking of all the potential things that could get in the way, all the, you know, if you're like, well, what, I don't have the money for this or whatever. Well, you know what? I've had money come from the most random sources when I needed it. So be open to that. Be open to the idea that you may not have like You may not know where things are going to come from. You may not know where opportunities are going to come from. You may not know, right? So before overwhelming yourself with all that, do what stupid people do, right? And I've been using this example a lot lately. Don't think about it, right? It's like, that's something I learned from P. Diddy, of all fucking people, right? You can learn from the worst of them. You know what he never does? He never doubts himself. He never thinks that anything is impossible, right? He may be a terrible person. I don't know. Not for me to decide, right? But it's not about how deserving he is. It's not about how good he is. It's about how sure he is, right? How certain he is. He doesn't let anybody bash his name, right? In such a way that, you know, like, I think people need to learn from that, you know? Like, just so many people will be so quick to talk crap about themselves, right? To say, oh, well, I'm, you know, this and I'm that and da da da, and they're not, you know, and then they allow that to really tear down their own confidence, right? But, you know, like, he doesn't. Same with Donald Trump. Same with, you know, and this is where I think learning from people that you may not like comes in handy, because everybody has something of value you can take away, right? No matter who they are, how bad they are, whatever. You can always learn something. And something I have learned is about certainty, right? When you're so fucking certain that everything's gonna work out for you, that everything always works out for you, it just has a tendency to do that, right? But then I see really good people who deserve the world, who sit there and overthink their manifestations to death. And they're so focused on the negative things or the obstacles, the challenges, that they don't actually, like, allow for the manifestations to come through, right? They don't allow for the changes to happen. And so in allowing things to just happen for you, you have to let go of needing to control every bit of the way, right? Releasing control of the outcome, releasing control of everything. Just put in the work and let the outcomes happen for themselves. So, and we're only one card in, and I feel like I've got so much to tell you. Yeah, so we were starting out with the World. I love this card. This is Saturn energy. And this is all about completion. Completing a cycle, completing a chapter in your life. Something is coming to an end here. With Ace of Pentacles, all endings are new beginnings, right? This is a new cycle, a new opportunity, right? Something new is in the works for you. Then we have Four of Wands in reverse, right? Four of Wands talks about marriage, commitments, the household. It also talks about contracts, right? So what I'm seeing here with this being in reverse, I see like this could be a commitment that is, you know, being severed, a contract that's being severed, a foundation that's kind of faltering, right? It was on a shitty foundation. So something is coming to an end. And I do see that this new beginning, right? This arrow is just, it's pointing upward, right? And to me, what I feel when I look at it is Excelsior, right? Ever onward and upward. So I feel that even if it doesn't look like you're taking a straight dive up, it's still an upward motion, right? You're still moving up, right? It requires something to fall apart. It requires something to end. Something that was already built on a shitty foundation. It kind of reminds me of the Bible when they talk about like building your house in the sand, for example. And it's like something was built on a bad foundation, or something did not have, you know, the strength. It wasn't built on a rock, right? It wasn't built with the sturdiest foundation. And so I do see this kind of crumbling, you know. It's like one little storm and bam, the whole thing's gone. And honestly, do we really have time for that kind of shit? Whatever it is, if this is a job, a relationship, a literal house, whatever, do we have time for trying to build our legacy on shitty foundations? Probably not, because it's just gonna fall away. We're gonna have to start over again, right? Such is life, unfortunately. So, what is your advice at this time? Alright, we have the Death card in reverse, Scorpio energy. Your advice is rebirth. This reminds me of a quote by Bukowski. Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself. Don't let yourself be clubbed into dank submission. So, I feel like you're being called to reinvent yourself, right? You want everything to change. You've got to change everything. And it could be from your physical appearance to your reactions, to your job, your where you live, whatever the case is. You're being called to reinvent yourself, to reinvent your life. This is very strong rebirth energy. Then we have Eight of Pentacles. It's time to get to work. And it's funny because this message is, I mean, it came out in the beginning. Oh, let me grab that card, right? Taking actions, following your intuition before it makes sense. And, you know, I've been in situations like that where my intuition is like, do the thing. And I'm like, but why? There's no logical reason to do it. And it's like, but do the thing. And every time I have just done the thing, I've seen really good results, right? I've seen life change in the best way. And every time I've ignored that voice, I've seen, you know, exactly the thing that I did not want to happen. So, you know, I'm coming at you from education, from wisdom. This is data I've collected in my own life. So you're really being called to put in the work, to take certain actions. To focus on your work and to allow your outcomes to just kind of take hold. Perhaps you need to move, right? With the Four of Wands in reverse. Well, instead of focusing so much on that, focus on money management. Focus on working hard. Focus on what you can do to get to that outcome, right? Five of Wands in reverse. I'm seeing the ending of conflict here with the Five of Wands in reverse. Five of Wands talks about competition, conflict. This could also be conflictedness within yourself, right? It's time to go into the mode of certainty, right? This is literally the secret. It is the secret to success. It is the secret to your manifestations. This is, and it's funny that I say it's a secret because it's not a secret, right? It's what you'll find on anything that has to do with being successful, entrepreneurship, manifestations. One thing that they commonly say is like, you need certainty, you need to be sure, right? The law of assumption is what Neville Goddard calls it. You know, it's like if you assume it, right? You assume that everything's going to work out in your favor. You assume opportunities are going to land in your lap, and you live in that assumption, right? Rather than hoping for it, you're knowing it's going to happen. So you're not worried about it. You're not stuck in a state of desire. You're not stuck in a state of longing for this, right? Because you're just confident and comfortable in knowing that shit's going to work out. I think you should, there's this audiobook by Florence Scovel Shinn called The Book of Life, it's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. Florence Scovel Shinn was like basically a witch. She was very on par with like Neville Goddard and Abraham Hicks and, you know, the greats. So I feel that you could gain a lot of wisdom, and it's not even a long audiobook. Like, you could listen to it, you know, doing mundane things, you know, washing your dishes or, you know, going for a drive, whatever the case is. But I feel that there's some knowledge in that book that could be really beneficial to you. That can really help you navigate this shit, right? It certainly has helped me. This could be relationship issues, having to move forward from that. We've got the Three of Swords. And this is heartbreak, right? This is betrayal, disappointment. This is sad, really. With the Hermit card, Virgo energy. Could be by a Virgo. You could be a Virgo, but more than anything, I'm feeling that you're being called into hermit mode, right? You're being called to isolation, which we all have our seasons of isolation, right? Where we need to dive in deep and we need to reflect and we need to get our shit together, right? And the best way to get your shit together is in isolation. And sometimes it's hard, right? Especially like in today's society where your friend groups will shame you if you stop talking to them for like days, you know, and it's like, I feel that right now you gotta prioritize you. I feel that right now that is the most important thing, right? Going out spending money with your friends probably isn't the best idea, because it looks like right now you need to build a nest egg, right? A financial nest egg. Right now you need to focus on your priorities, right? And kind of put your social life on the back burner. And that's hard, right? Because especially if you're going through heartbreak. Because the one thing we all want to do is get back on that horse, right? We want to get out there. We want to have fun. We want to, you know, just... But honestly, And I'm not one for vengeance, but the best revenge here is to do better, right, than to do worse. To create a better life for yourself, rather than to allow circumstances to throw you down the hole, right? Because the more that you waste money, the more that you're irresponsible with your time and energy, the more that you do those things, it's like the more you self-destruct, right? The further back you put yourself rather than pushing yourself forward. And I feel that you're really being called to push yourself forward. And this is Corona on it. I don't know if you guys know Spanish, but that means crown, right? And so a big part of me is feeling that, and seeing the butterfly in the crown, right? I feel that this hermit mode that you're going to be going into is going to really, it's more like a cocoon, right? You might feel like you're melting into oblivion and turning into mashed potatoes, basically, you know, but then you're going to come out of this 100, right? You're going to come out of this doing really well. And I feel that the most important thing is focusing on that. Focusing on reinventing yourself, right? Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself. I dare you to become the person that you want to be, right? To live the life you want to live. And I know that that comes with comforts and luxuries that that you have to work for, right? It's like the Beastie Boys said, you have to fight for your right to party, okay? And sometimes that requires work, right? We don't celebrate our wins until we're winning, right? You know, it's like if you run races, for example, right? Cross country, whatever. You're not going to get drunk the night before a race to celebrate your win before you've already gotten to the finish line, right? Because what's going to happen? You're going to show up to the race feeling exhausted, hungover, you're going to run slow, you're going to lose, right? And so you're being called to not celebrate until you win, right? And that's, you know, I feel that that's pretty sound advice. Alright, this card flipped, but it didn't come out, so I'm going to grab it. Seven of Pentacles. You may be looking for new opportunities in work or home. Alright, but I do see the Seven of Pentacles is a card of harvest. Right? I do see fruitfulness coming into your life. I do see abundance coming into your life. I'm seeing that, you know, for all that you've done and all that you are, good things are going to be showing up in your life for you. Right? It's, like I said, karma is getting paid out. And if you've earned good karma, it's coming back to you. And that's what I'm seeing here. It looks like you're on the right side of karma, right? It looks like even if it feels like your will is being thwarted, right? You're not getting what you want. I feel that the universe is providing you with more than that, right? And it requires you to let go of certain people or things that were actually hindering you from getting that outcome that you actually desire, the outcome that's in your heart. So let's call on Kali. See what she has to say about all this. Yuga Shakti. You may yearn for circumstances to unfold, or we may yearn for circumstances to unfold according to our divine, oh my lord, I can read, I swear. I hold it up for my eyeballs. We may yearn for circumstances to unfold according to our personal preferences. Yet to trust in divine timing alleviates stress and fosters a more peaceful relationship with the universe. Even the right thing cannot attain fruition at the wrong time. A negative cycle is due to end, and a new dawn shall rise. Kama of Kali. You are being offered a spiritual gift from the Divine Mother. Your path need not be one of endless exertion. Connecting with pleasure as a path of personal empowerment, intending to bring spiritual benefit to the collective through the softening and opening of your heart, is an act of worshiping the Divine Feminine. Let yourself receive her loving gifts. So, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Namaste. I love you all, and I will see you soon.